I'm gonna get
Really?
so much flack for this.
Gonna give you a hard time
And
about
that,
this, right? And that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that aka Netter's Place. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get grilled the next time I talk to her.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode with To Die For Games. I'm Mandi, also known as the Board Gaming Pinup Girl.
Hi guys. I'm Caryl, also known as Caryl Has No Tan.
Very nice, very nice. I feel like I said like I'm all pinup-y and I'm like, yeah, I have no flour today. It's just rainy. I'm so sorry. I'll be better next time. But I got the red lips. But anyways, so if you would like to see more of the video and you're like, I just want that part specifically, check out down below where we have our timestamps. And if you have questions, that's a great place to leave them as well. And comments, anything like that, that's where you want to put them. I don't think there's anything else. I think we just need to get to the game.
Let's get to it, Mandi.
All right.
So in Villages of Valeria, you'll be trying to build a village with building cards and adventurers to either give you action bonuses or simply points. To no surprise, the player who has the most points at the end wins. Each player will take a castle card of their color to start your village, and you expand by either paying for additional buildings with resources or by adding cards to your castle to increase the resources that it will produce, or by attracting adventurers by building the right kind of buildings to draw them in. On your turn, you'll have a choice of 5 actions to perform. Harvest, which allows you to draw cards to your hand. Develop, which allows you to turn a building card upside down and add to your castle as a resource to pay for buildings. Build, which allows you to pay the cost of a building and then add it to your village. Recruit, which allows you to take an adventurer from the table by paying gold for them. Do remember that in order to take them, you'll need the buildings indicated on the side of their card. And lastly, tax, which allows you to take gold from the bank, which is what you'll need to pay for build actions for your resources. The twist of the game, however, comes from being able to do the action of the current player's turn. Meaning, as the active player, whatever you choose as your action, all other players will be able to do the same, but in a weaker variant as you. When it's your turn, you'll do what's called lead the action, where you get to build or tax, for example, but with an additional benefit. All other players who choose to do the same action as well is called follow, and will either have to pay a higher cost to do the action or without the same benefits. Then you'll continue play like this until the end of the game, which happens when a player reaches a certain amount of building and adventurer cards, dependent on the number of players. And that's the gist of the game.
So now we're ready to give a review of Villages of Valeria. So, Caryl, over to you. What do you think?
I'm gonna compare this to something, and it's Race for the Galaxy. And I'm gonna say I like it more than Race for the Galaxy.
Really?
I'm gonna get so much flack for this.
Gonna give you a hard time
And
about
that,
this, right? And that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And that aka Netter's Place. Oh yeah, I'm gonna get grilled the next time I talk to her.
So that's like one of her favorites.
Oh, I know, and it's a lot of people's favorites out there. So let me preface this by saying that it's hard for me to get into Race for the Galaxy because of all the icons, how long the rulebook is. I didn't actually fully learn it until the app came out to actually teach me in about 5 paragraphs, which was great for me. This one does the same thing in less time, less icons, smaller game, less playtime, but doing almost exactly the same thing, but so clear. Like, the reason why it's so clear is because you'll see all the different phases on the card, and when it's your turn, you just place the castle token on which phase you're doing. So it's really clear, like, okay, it's a harvest phase, it's maybe production phase. And then you also get the reference cards telling you clearly what they are. And that helps a lot. Like, it's so simple and it's so streamlined that it does everything that Race is doing, but much quicker for me to jump into, especially as someone who's new to that kind of action selection kind of genre.
Right. So this reminded me of, and I swear I only own 2 of them, but the one of the tiny epics. I think it's Kingdoms, potentially.
Yes.
And is it one with the little green guy on the front? And Sorry, that's how I remember games, is by their art. So it reminded me a little bit of that, because they have that kind of, I don't know if you've played it, but they have that kind of like thing at the top. It's like an action sheet where you take your actions and everybody goes there, but you can take it, but it's going to cost you more. Similar type of idea as here. So that's what it reminded me of. So I don't know if it was supposed to be a play on that, but that definitely gave me that feeling. So I liked this game. It was very simple. So it was definitely a bit more simple than Quest, for example, in my opinion. And this one actually had some components versus Quest, which didn't. It just had the cards. This one has like the castle and the
Gold.
I don't know what they're called. They look like gold. I think it's gold,
I think they are gold.
And those, you know, you can acquire gold in the game. So, yeah. So I mean, for me, this game, I mean, I like the fact that, you know, you had the symbols which you were using in order to, you know, acquire things in the game. I don't know how to formulate my response properly for this. It's not a bad game. I liked it. I just think I liked Quest better.
Really? You liked Quest better?
I did.
Even after all that hubbub with the rulebook?
It was worth it. I just feel like this one was, you know, maybe maybe I need to take it at what it was. It was a very simple game.
Yeah.
Like I didn't find it had the variety of actions, but I don't know. I felt like I was using the same ones often.
You definitely are, but I enjoy it for the simplicity, like especially for someone who is just getting into that kind of idea. Like that's something I would show to someone who's still kind of new with board games or still likes board games on, you know, a little bit on the lighter side. I would definitely show them that instead of something like Race for the Galaxy. Like that's something I would show much later on because of, you know, the high cost of entry to understand it.
Right. No, and you know what? That's a perfect audience for someone who is newer and you're trying to kind of get them into the game. So I think, did you show this one to Carolyn?
I did. She got it right away.
Okay. So for those who are wondering, Carolyn is actually one of my coworkers. She's great, and Caryl got to meet her and taught her Villages. And she's newer to gaming. She still enjoys it, but newer to gaming. But you were exactly what you were saying, that she really enjoyed it, right?
She also beat me by 2 points.
Carolyn and her 2 points.
That is the defining character between a Carolyn and a Caryl. 2 points.
So that goes to show that it's definitely a game that you can introduce to a newer gamer and they would be comfortable with it. Comfortable enough to win, apparently. So.
Yeah. I feel that's the great thing that I liked about it. It's so simple that you can just jump right in and focus purely on the strategy and the planning without trying to understand the game so much. Because everything's given to you and it's so straightforward. Okay, this does this, this does this. Play reference is fantastic. Okay, so I don't need to worry about the rules. I don't have to worry about that. I can just focus on what is going to get me points to win. And that's exactly what Carolyn did. And that's why I like this game. Like, you know, it's hard for a race because it's like, okay, I have to understand, like, you know, discarding cards. I have to understand how this ability stacks with this and this and this. And there's a lot of upkeep and knowing the abilities that you bought and remembering what they do to give you like the benefits and all that. This one, it's, you know, straight out, you know, you stack the cards in a way where you see only your abilities. You stack them in a way where you see all your resources that will help you pay for the future ones. And it's easy to see. That's what it is. It's simple. It's accessible.
And I think you summed it up well. You know what I mean? There's not any direct conflict or attack or anything like that. You're literally trying to find the best way to get to the end, to get to most points. So do you find that would make it more solitaire, or do you think it does have that interactivity?
There's definitely not the interactivity that's there that for me to define it like that, but I don't think it needs it either. I mean, that's like saying Caverna needs the interactivity.
Whoa.
You know.
I'll need some Caverna.
No, I love Caverna too, but it's basically solitaire for me. It's like, I'm going to get this, I'm going to get this. Oh, you got that? I'm going to get this instead. You know, it's still basically solitaire. And, you know, it doesn't even need it, is the thing.
Yeah. So no, like I enjoyed it. Like I felt like we were playing it and I felt engaged. Like I didn't feel like I had shut you out and I was just focusing on doing my actions. You know what I mean? I did kind of take care to note, ooh, well, if I do this action, she'll do it, but then she has to pay more in order to do that action. Ooh, let's let her do that because I know she's going to want to do it. So I mean, there's a little bit of that. So it's a nice introductory way to kind of give a little bit of take that, not really, but seeing how it could work.
If I wanted interactivity and some like clashing, I would play Game of Thrones.
Oh my goodness. I actually don't think I play a lot of those types of games, but no, I do like my worker placements.
I'm gonna propose someone to make a worker placement Game of Thrones game, and then you'll see.
All right, we'll see. I'll play it regardless. I love games, so I'll play whatever. But I digress. But I mean, overall, I liked this game. Like I said, I think I like Quest a bit better, but maybe just because it reminds me of Lords of Waterdeep, which I also really like. But I think it just was a little bit more, I don't want to say complex, but it just had a little bit more activity to it. Villages is definitely very straightforward. So if you're new to gaming, if you just want something light to take with you, you don't want anything that's overwhelming, but you can still enjoy, definitely a good game. Like if you like race, like you were saying, this could be another alternative.
If you liked race, I think there's not as much meat on the bones for Villages of Valeria to hold its own. If you like race, I think people are going to stick to that, get the expansions, or even roll for the galaxy or something meatier like that. I would probably use this as like a stepping stone towards something like race, but
right, and that's more what I mean. Yeah, exactly. Like you can start with that and then work your way up, because race is it's there's a lot. I like it, but there's a lot. Like I mean, you gotta pay attention in that game. There's a lot going on. So
yeah, exactly. And for something so straightforward, I mean, like if I don't want to bust my brain or anything, I'll bring this out on a Friday night or a Monday night.
Exactly. It's like an after game, or in between like the big game cleansers, you can kind of put that one in between, like a Colonists and Great Western Trail, and then in between is Villages. But it's definitely a game that I think you can play through a variety of players. It just depending the level of difficulty will just really depend on what you're used to, right? So if you're used to heavy games, no, this is not a heavy game. It's fairly light. Someone new, easy for them to pick up, gives them that confidence, So
exactly. Yeah. And it's a great game to look at, like we talked about before with Villages of Valeria. Quest of Valeria. The Miko does the art for this one as well. A lot of it has like recurring art, and it looks great no matter what.
Yeah. Again, I can always come back to the card quality. I'm sorry. I like a thick card. I definitely feel this could happen here, but it's not a deal breaker. So I'll let it slide.
I'll give them some props for using wooden coins, like wooden, like instead of cardboard chits, because it could have easily gone that direction, but instead they went with wood, which feels really great. I have to give them props for using wooden coins instead of cardboard ones, because they could have easily gone with cardboard chits that were like flat, flimsy, but instead they went with wood, which really looks great when you see it, because like it's fully painted, it's yellow, it pops, and it's clear that this is a coin.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think that was a nice touch, because I was expecting just cards, so it was nice they had that little bit of that component in there versus just chits. So that was really good. So I think overall, I definitely liked this game. It's definitely a game I would play again. I definitely think that if you like a kind of race for the galaxy, I'm not saying it's replacing it, but it's like a lighter version of that. So if you like those types of games, I think you'll probably enjoy it if you're just looking for something that's light, or maybe you want to play with a new gamer like we did.
Mm-hmm, exactly. And I wish that this game existed before Race even came out, so I could jump into that much easier. But, it is what it is. And, I, as someone not that big on Race, I would prefer Villages, and that's probably what I'm going to go to. Don't hate me. But I like the simplicity in it. It does the same thing without so much meat on it, and probably eventually I'm gonna move on to Race, but right now for what it is, this is gonna be the game for me.
All right, so there you have it. So that's our review for Villages of Valeria, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.